Todd here with Forge Firing Company. Today's episode we're going to be going over common mistakes made in conventional forcible entry. What's up, guys? We're going to cover the topic of most common mistakes we see in basic forcible entry. One of the first ones I want to touch on is hand placement, leverage placement. I already have a purchase of my Halligan adze and an inward opening door setup. So what I want to talk about is hand placement affecting your gap. Commonly I see shoulder and hand placement choking in on the bar and losing a lot of leverage. So what we want to focus on is the longer the lever, the more leverage we have. So as we lift and roll this adze, we want our shoulder placement or our hand placement all the way in at the end of the tool. By doing so, I'm going to get my shoulder and trap here if I'm going to use a leg lift. And my hands were all the way up at the top of the tool, making maximum leverage.
Next thing we're going to talk about is maximizing our gap. Common thing that we see both in classes and on the job is guys are not taking full throw of the tool. They're stopping about 45 degrees and not using the full width of the adze to get full throw and mechanical advantage. Being able to get that full 2-inch gap or 1.5-inch gap depending on what tool that you're using. So we're going to place the tool and get it set in. We have the tool set, we're able to go and get full throw. If I stop here at a 45, I can see a gap, but I don't have full throw of the tool. I am wasting the full mechanical advantage of the tool that it has. Being able to get that all the way up now has me set where I have full 2-inch gap that's there. I'm either able to capture the back of the frame here and finish to the force, or to be able to get back and do an as roll on the back of the door frame, whatever is needed.
I want to piggyback off Chris is exactly right. Maximizing your leverage. Commonly we see people in a rush. They get that adze roll up 45 degrees. They're already in a rush thinking about the next chamber technique and they bypass maximizing that, and they're already thinking taking the tool out, going to the forks or something else. So maximizing and rolling the tool all the way up is going to create better efficiencies. What's up, guys? I want to talk about the next common mistake, the next common topic we see a lot, which is not understanding the anatomy of your Halligan. I commonly see it in classes. It is what I call the baton twirl. You see guys come up and rotate the tool all different ways, not understanding which way or which end of the tool to use. So I have my adze set in here. Tying off of what I just said, we commonly see, again, not understanding the anatomy and the leverage points. We see guys wanting to push or pull the tool upon this purchase this way towards the hinges. What that does provides a lot less leverage, 5-to-1 leverage point, versus rolling the tool opposite of the spike and affecting 15-to-1 leverage point. So that's a common mistake we see. So if you want to affect building that into your training regimen.
Common mistake we see is that people are not dragging their forks fully into the jam, and they're not hitting that rear line or the crotch of the forks and getting that to the back of the jam stop. So by not doing that, we are creating the potential for the tool to slip, and we're not taking full advantage of the leverage that we get with that. So we want to ensure that we are driving the crotch to the jam stop and being able to get that before we throw the door. So I'm going to have Todd come in and strike it in, and you're going to see where we're going to stop. Drive. Now that we have the Halligan driven to the forks of the crotch, right at our jam stop, we're able to go from here and throw the Halligan and get full leverage and advantage of the tool that it offers.
All right, in this segment, we're going to talk about the common mistake of improper fork steering. Commonly, we see the forks not being steered in between the jam and the door, in between the call of hits, to then eventually glide to and fulcrum on the front of the inside of the jam. So that's commonly what we see. We'll show this as an example of improper steering.
Hit. 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 Hit.
So as you can see, we're not making progress. A couple reasons for that. The angle of his steer. He's not steering in between my hits to glide the tool between the door and the jam. Second reason, Chris is going to touch on.
Most common cause of poor steering with the tool is for whoever's controlling the tool is looking at the striker or looking at where they're hitting and not watching what the tool is doing at the end. So as you're holding the tool, you have to be completely focused on this, trusting your partner to be able to do those strikes. So by keeping your eyes on here, you're able to adjust your position, adjust the tool, and properly steer the forks around the back of the jam.
A couple problems this is going to present if you are improper steering. First, you're going to embed those forks into the jam and not create a true fulcrum inside wrapping the front of the jam. It's also going to obviously slow you down and create less efficiency. So we're going to now show a proper way to steer and call your hits and steer in between. We'll play off of this.
Straight. Straight.
That's a proper steer, which then provides a proper set. Then we can build into a proper force.